Is it time to worry about the rookie quarterbacks? Tom Brady gets to come home against the New England Patriots. What team had only one passing yard more than I did? And man, those Eagles just look super rough. Welcome to the Dynasty Mafia podcast, everybody. This is Antonio Danisi with you as always. Welcoming in Keenan Jimijic and Eric Danisi. How are we tonight, fellas?
Doing good over here.
I'm doing great. I love how Eric just doesn't even wait for me to answer anymore. He just answers. There's no awkward silence anymore. I love it.
He's learning. I don't have to edit out anything, any shorten any part of that. No, Eric's learning. He's getting good, man. I like that.
Now we play.
Man, so,
but to answer your question, is it time to worry about the rookie quarterbacks? Yes. Let's get right into it. It's definitely time to worry about those rookie quarterbacks. I know, Eric, you're a big Zach Wilson fan. I had high hopes for the kid in Chicago, Justin Fields, and everyone thought Mac Jones was the next Tom Brady during training camp. But this class has I don't want to say they underperformed, but they're definitely not doing what previous first round quarterback classes have. Look at what Allen's class did. Baker and Lamar Jackson got in there a little bit with Flacco, and last year with Burrow. Even Sunshine this year, he hasn't looked that well. Hasn't played that well.
I think that's something that you're mentioning, though, is they haven't played that well. Burrow really didn't look that good. He was just throwing a lot last year until he got injured.
The difference, though, is he was hitting his wide receivers. Where maybe Mac Jones, I haven't really watched much of him, but Justin Fields looked awful. And Zach Wilson, I don't know if he's just said F it, and I'm just going to start throwing the ball all over the place. I don't care if it gets picked off or not. But it just –
yeah, you're not seeing signs of encouragement.
At least Burrow last year, he threw it 50, 60 times – not 60, but 40, 50 times. But there were some games where I was like, oh, this guy – you could see the potential in him. I just haven't seen it yet in his class yet.
Yeah, we saw it from Herbert right when he came in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump in.
One more thing before I kill these quarterbacks, I want to say is these teams aren't helping these rookie quarterbacks out at all. Chicago, I don't know what the hell they're doing. New England, like I said, I haven't really watched much of Mac Jones. And who's the other quarterback? Oh, Zach Wilson. The Jets are a disaster. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so I get it. Why you're worried. I'd be worried about Justin Fields too, because Biggie said, he's the worst out of all five of them.
And you want to know what? When Biggie says something, he's always right.
Always. So
he had one more yard than you.
Yeah, I'm not worried though. I'm not worried because just like what you're saying, like a few like Mahomes, Herbert, even Burrow, they're all showing flashes right out of the gate. Even Josh Allen did, but Josh Allen still had a really rough first couple of years. Really his first year. And then his second year is really when he started to shine. But just like Herbert last year and Burrow too last year before he got hurt, he showed flashes. I think we're just maybe expecting too much of them, and we're not really, and we need to just take back and realize, hey, this is their first 3 games as NFL quarterbacks. And most of the time, quarterbacks aren't expected to start right out of the gate like that. And on top of that, like you said, Keenan, they aren't given much help. And not only that, we still have to see what Lance has.
Totally forgot about him.
Yeah, so
he's probably in the best position.
Yeah, he's sitting pretty right now, but I'm not worried yet.
The quarterbacks, the rookie quarterbacks together have a win-loss record combined of 1-10.
That one win.
One win is Mac Jones over Zach Wilson.
Interesting.
So, yeah, they're not doing too hot thus far.
Well, speaking of rookie quarterbacks, tomorrow's game is Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. It's the last 2 number 1 overall picks, so it'll be interesting to see how well Lawrence matches up with Burrow, which I think Burrow is going to be amazing. I still think that. I know I think he's underappreciated, and he's made strides after that injury. I think he looks better than I expected.
Yeah, he's one of many teams that are not giving a lot of help to their quarterback, as we're mentioning, with their offensive lines. So it's going to be tough, but we're going to talk about that game a little bit later. We're going to preview that. We're going to talk about a few buys and sells. We're going to talk about a couple winners and losers from week 3. We're going to recap a few big performances. We're going to give a rebound player as well. So we have a lot of good info today. Probably Thursday, September 30th, by the time you're hearing this, as we're recording a Wednesday evening. So hopefully you guys had a good waiver week. How much did Chuba Hubbard go for in your leagues?
I seen 55 as the highest.
The most we I forgot what league it was. It was 61 though.
Yeah, 61 was my league.
Was that yeah?
I think it was Mitch.
So
that would have been league. I got him in your league. Listen.
So 61% would have been.
So I'm facing the guy who has Christian McCaffrey. So I bid 55 on Hubbard just because, and I'm throwing him in my lineup too because we got the extra flex this year too. So I thought that was a good move, but no, it was 2 keepers.
You know what? It's me.
61.
Me. 61 was me. So I drafted McCaffrey in that league.
Yeah, well, that was my point. I was going to make that point. Like, if you had McCaffrey, you had to spend the money. Where I was looking at all my teams. I'm like, I don't really want to spend the money on a running back that's going to be a backup in 2 weeks because they're not putting him on the IR, and which is awesome that he prevented a serious injury. But I think you guys both made a good case. Hey, I'm playing you. I'm gonna take this player from you, and Antonio, you have CMC, so you kind of need it.
Well, or you could trade him. I mean, let's think about it. Like that kind of a player right now, the hottest commodity thus far, you could probably trade him for a pretty penny. That's still worth whatever fab you spent. Yeah. If you don't need him, and I mean, yeah, I had CMC and then Damian Harris, so I really had to do something there. I thought Kenyon Drake would have been a good backup, but apparently Peyton Barber is apparently Kenyon Drake is getting paid to truly just be a backup, no matter who the starting running back is. He's a backup.
I heard he's in the doghouse because he missed a blocking assignment.
I mean, that's quite the dog. They're paying that dog a lot of money to sit in the house due to that one block. I'm just saying.
I wish I was that dog.
Let me be that dog, dude. So backtracking, Justin Fields had 63 yards passing, I believe. Yep. Or 63 yards passing, or 67. Yeah. But with the sacks that he had taken, there was a few of them. He actually netted one. They had one team passing yard.
One team passing yard. Amazing.
So Chicago Bears, one team passing yard.
Absolutely.
I had one less yard on Sunday. We all did, you know. We actually collectively, if we each had 1 yard, we would have had more than the Chicago Bears.
Listen, there's no way either of us was getting 1 yard.
All I have to do, we just got to throw the ball.
Listen,
we don't have to run. I didn't say we had to run. Hold on. You really don't think you can complete a pass in the NFL?
No, but by the time you snap the ball and you look up, you're gonna have someone in your face.
How many chances are you giving yourself?
Listen, let's just say you can't get injured. You got 100. You got chances get in. Yeah, your team don't pass. You don't complete a pass.
How many chances?
10.
10. I can complete a pass.
I don't think you could.
The NFL average is what, 62%?
NFL average,
you're going to tell me that I can't get 1/5?
Listen,
you know, I just need someone to run across. I don't even care if it's tight end. Just turn around, block, turn around. Ball's right there.
By the time they turn around, you're sacked. That's how fast it is. It's 3 seconds. All right,
we might have to put that on Twitter.
Yeah, that's a good poll. All right, but who's your favorite rookie for the rest of the season? Quarterback, if you had to start one.
Who you said? Lance Eric earlier.
I said he's the best position. I didn't.
If I had to start one for the rest of the year, no, I did not say Lance.
Well, not start, but who you have a better rest of the year?
I think it has to be Trevor Lawrence for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take the easy way out, but Lance, we saw his rushing ability with that touchdown regardless of it just being the one play and he used his legs. I mean, he did it pretty well for being an 8 to 9 yard scramble. But I think Lawrence looks really crappy, but he's going to get better and he's going to improve. Mac Jones threw a couple touchdowns or a couple interceptions. I think he's that's now him, Lawrence, Wilson. Did Fields throw 2 interceptions? No, but the 3 of them have at least multiple picks. Davis, I think he threw multiple interceptions. So, they're definitely having a year. But I think Lawrence is who I'm going to have to go with.
I agree.
Unfortunate as it is. I don't even know, though, like, is he even like in a 2-quarterback league? Are you still starting him in a 2-quarterback league? Because you obviously aren't in a 1.
I think he gets better. Are we talking about Trevor Lawrence here?
Yeah, just right now though, like week 4, can you start him tomorrow night? Well,
yeah, I would. I think he's almost guaranteed 2 touchdowns a game, just because of his wide receivers.
All right. Well, let's talk about some news and notes real quick before we do actually get into some more here. So we had a trade. A little unusual of a trade with the deadline coming up in a few weeks. Blockbuster trade, big trade. But no, it does involve the team that is playing tonight, Jacksonville Jaguars. They traded away C.J. Henderson's second-year corner, so they sent him and a 6th-round pick over to the Panthers for Dan Arnold and a 3rd. So we lost that Darnold to Arnold connection. So that's kind of
who's their tight end now.
So now you have Ian Thomas, who's been there, I think, his 3rd year. But if not, their rookie Tommy Tremble, who had a rushing touchdown, they used him a rushing touchdown and ended around with a tight end. So I don't know. That's kind of ironic that he came in, performed, did what he wanted to do, and now you see Dan Arnold getting shipped out. So Jacksonville was really interested in Dan Arnold in the offseason. Carolina wound up getting his services. And I think sending a 3rd-round pick, that's valuable. Like, some people thought that Henderson was getting traded for like dirt cheap, but like, you got to look like that 3rd-round pick is still going to be valuable. There's been a lot of assets in the 3rd round that have been getting drafted, and they got rid of a player that, I don't know. I think that they've been probably trying to shop him for a little bit, to be honest with you. But I think he's promising. They just lost J.C. Horn. The Panthers did for a while. So
he's out for the season, right? He broke like 4 bones in his foot or something like that.
I don't recall if they confirmed he's out for the whole season, but if not, he's out for at least 3 months. So yeah, he'll be out a while.
Imagine breaking your foot. You break your foot on that first play that you try to complete.
Eric broke his leg trying to walk onto a tractor.
Is this true?
No, what? That was Teresa. I broke my foot jumping off a slide when I was 2 years old, though.
Yeah, well, you did something. I don't really
remember it.
You did something. Didn't you break your leg when you were like 15, ankle?
No, I broke my ankle in high school. I was playing football.
That's what it was, jumping on a tractor.
No.
All right. Marlon Mack got approved to seek a trade from Indy.
This is the guy that everyone should have targeted in Dynasty. I picked him up in all Dynasty leagues that he was available.
Hey, you might be able to throw a 3rd-round pick. If the Panthers are throwing on a 3rd, you might be able to throw on a 3rd.
Yeah, if he gets traded, let's say to, I don't know, the Rams.
I don't know about the Rams, but I was thinking, to be honest, about San Francisco. I don't know if they would waste.
No,
I don't want to call it waste, but I don't know if they would spend the money because they have Sermon.
No,
but if they keep getting injuries though, like if Mitchell doesn't come back, and New England, that could be another one.
That would kill my Damian Harris stocks.
Yeah, but Marlon Mack shown he can catch. You don't use him too much. They have Naeem Hines, but I don't know how many suitors he may have. But Joe Judge wants 1st-round pick Kadarius Toney to start getting involved more in the offense. I mean, you're not the only one, Joe Judge.
Yeah, he does.
The problem is one of us are calling the plays.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it either.
You don't say, Joe Judge.
Yeah.
What a mess that is. How about that Eli Manning jersey ceremony? And they were booing the GM and the coach. How about that? What a disaster.
And Eli Manning doing a really good impression on Monday Night Football with his brother now. You guys watch that?
Yeah, I did. I have to go back and watch it. I can't watch it during a game, but I go back and watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
No, I don't watch it either. I mean, it sounds like I'm one of the only people that don't, so it's good to hear that you don't either.
I go back and watch it. So I don't go to bed till like 2:00 on Monday nights now when they're doing it because I have to rewatch the game with them, and they are hilarious. And Eli just disses his brother Peyton. He lifted his shirt up. He goes, "Put your shirt down. I can see your pit stains." I was dying. I was in 1:00 in the morning. I'm in tears downstairs watching these idiots.
See, I can't make fun of Eric. He gets upset too easily. So I just gotta be nice about it, especially when we're on an atmosphere like this. You know, don't want him walking off or crying and getting made fun of.
You're just
stuff
scared.
like that. Yeah,
Can we talk about Josh Allen here for a second, guys? Winning AFC Offensive Player of the Week again.
He seems to do that a lot lately. Not that it, fantasy matters, but I mean it's good because it means he's got good performances.
26% of he's won AFC Offensive Player of the Week in 19 starts. And superhero Mahomes is in the conference, which makes the stat even more impressive.
I'm going to ask this question really lightly, and I'm going to ask it to Eric. I'm not going to ask it to you, Keenan, because I know how you've been. Are you worried about the Chiefs right now, Eric?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Patrick, he still threw 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's not like, we were all worried about the Bills after week 2, right? And then what? They came out week 3 and put up over 40 points. I mean, I don't know. They have Tyreek Hill, they have Travis Kelce, they have Patrick Mahomes, they have Andy Reid. They're going to get it back on track. I have, Travis Kelce's doing great too for your fantasy teams, and they're arguably doing bad right now. So, you know what? No, I'm not worried about them.
I'm not worried about them fantasy-wise, but I don't think they're a guaranteed number 1 seed anymore. That's where I'm at. I think they gotten in the habit of underperforming. And the stats show they haven't covered since week 8 of last year.
Like the
spread.
Vegas spread, yeah. But they've won.
Yeah, they come.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they come back and win, but actually, I said it today, it's going to eventually catch up to you. Like, you can't keep going down by double digits and expect you're going to come back. It almost did catch up to them a couple times, but whatever. The Bills are going to beat them week 5.
Yeah, that's going to be a big matchup. But you're right, though. It was nice to see Josh Allen bounce back.
You also Kaz mentioned on the Chiefs, too.
Yeah.
Also, like, you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have 17 for 100 every single game? I don't know. I feel like they just had the run game going, too, as well. So, I mean, Tyreek didn't have, like, the best game, but, he had a monster first game. I don't remember his exact stat line, but
they didn't really start using CEH either until, like, the second half. Well, it was at 10-7. 10-7 at halftime. So the point total, the over under of the game was 54. And they scored 17 points at halftime, and they ended with 54 total points. So they scored 37 points in the second half. So it was a riot. But yeah, Tyreek Hill still didn't do too much. CEH started getting work. Travis Kelce started getting work. Talking about Tyreek Hill is just making me think about how, I mean, you guys know I was heavily invested in wide receivers this year when we drafted. So I did a lot of that. I got the DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, the Allen Robinson combinations. Doesn't it seem like none of the wide receivers are doing well? Is it just me who has that same thought right now? Or,
well, I think you had Amari Cooper do really well week 1. And then he's kind of disappeared the last 2 weeks. It might be that rib injury. I feel like there's so many great wide receivers right now that we're so used to seeing a handful of wide receivers do really well every week, but there's so many of them now where it's not possible for them to all do really good every week unless you're Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I think the wide receivers are doing fantastic. like Keenan said, there's just so many of them. Kind of what we saw, just the football world shift into kind of last year is we saw random names just having monster weeks every single week. It was just a random name was just going off. And I think we're
maybe I should reword. Like I meant like the top 10 wide receivers. You know, like, doesn't it seem like those guys aren't doing too much? Like Keenan said, like Amari Cooper, he had a good week one. Tyreek Hill had a good week one. Since then, they haven't done much. Justin Jefferson bounced back. DK Metcalf bounced back.
Adams struggled like the best 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like in your top 10 right now.
I mean, Jefferson,
Devontae Adams,
Mike
and
Evans
Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson. So here's your top 12, top 13, because I'll include Tyreek Hill because he's there. So Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, and Tyreek Hill. So 4 of the top 13 wide receivers were drafted in the top 10 of wide receivers. So I just find that interesting. You know, next week will be at week 4, so we're not a full quarter, but we're really close to a quarter through. So we'll have like a good leg. I don't know. I like to split the season up into quarters. Well, I did when it was 16 weeks.
Well, 2-2 every 4 weeks, you'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, you know, just to try to get everything. But I don't know. I mean, speaking of playoffs, like I don't know. I'm not too worried about 0-3 this year, as you obviously were in years past. There was 13. I got 14.
If I have an 0-3 team, I'm worried.
0-4 worries me more. I don't know, but with that mindset though of like I have a couple 1-2 teams, for example, and I have my wide receivers on those teams are AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, and a combination of Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, and I think like Juju Smith-Schuster. So like I got those 5 between those 2. So like I'm 1-2. I'm not worried though if I go 1-3.
Really?
You know what I mean? That is such a solid wide receiver core that I mean, yes, am I worried? Of course I'm going to be worried, but I'm not like, wow, my playoff chances are gone, because I have good wide receivers. My running backs are going to be serviceable and work out. And I have something I didn't do normally that I actually did this year that I think might be saving me is I drafted elite quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I didn't wait. Like I have Kyler Murray in a lot of my leagues.
Yeah.
That's a big person saving me. I grabbed Dak. But, you know, if I would have waited, maybe I wouldn't have gotten the Matthew Stafford, the Tom Brady's that would have, you know, also been helping.
Well, speaking of Julio, speaking of
some injuries.
Yeah, some injuries here. Your boy, we were just talking about AJ Brown. He's hurt, and so is Julio. That's an interesting situation going on in Tennessee. So are we staying away from the Tennessee Titans in our survivor pool this week?
I think you have to. Apparently, I heard they were both moving really heavy furniture, and it was the same piece of furniture, and they both fell at the same time and strained both their right hamstrings. It was just the weirdest thing, but that's
furniture.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Are you being serious right now?
I don't know.
All right, continue.
But they both have hurt hamstrings. I don't understand. I don't know.
AJ Brown's having a full season too. That's one of your top wide receivers there too.
Remember that scene in Friends? A little bit of a tangent. Remember that scene in Friends when Ross and oh geez, why am I blanking on his name? But they're moving the couch and they're yelling, "Pivot! Pivot!"
I'm a Seinfeld guy.
Oh my Lord, come on.
Seinfeld, man.
Come on, man.
Seinfeld.
You're the worst.
No, I'm the best.
Chandler. I can't believe I blanked on his name. Ross and Chandler. You're the worst. All right. Sorry for my tangent there. Yeah, you already mentioned IR, no IR for CMC. Yeah, James White got his hip sublation. I was practicing that earlier because he's out for the rest of the year, but I'm pretty sure it's the same injury Fitzpatrick had.
Yeah.
Except Fitzpatrick didn't have to get surgery. So
except Fitzpatrick, bones are made of steel.
Yeah, exactly. It's that beard oil he rubs all over his body. Helps you get steel. All right, guys. So there's your news and notes. There's some of the injuries. There really isn't a lot. We're getting ready for week 4.
Thank God.
I do want to recap. I lied. 2 questions with 3 fingers up. Is Cooper Kupp going to be the wide receiver 1 the rest of the year? Question number 1. Eric?
I'm going to say
Wide
no
receiver 1 is tough.
because Matthew Stafford's going to eventually get hurt because he always gets hurt, and Robert Woods is going to have to get some love here by
Robert Woods does do this often, where he's very quiet throughout the beginning half of the year, and then at the back half of the year, he's like a top 5 wide receiver. Now it's a new quarterback, so I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen, but I do expect Robert Woods to get some love going down the stretch here. But I do fully expect Cooper Kupp to be a guaranteed top 10 wide receiver.
Oh, top 10, yeah.
For the season.
Just not even top 5.
I mean, it's just
he's 14 points ahead.
I'm saying
guaranteed
top 10. I'm saying guaranteed top 10 with a very good chance to be top 5 if this continues, obviously he's going to be top 5, potentially number 1. But
I'm not going to lie. I had him ranked one of the highest wide receivers before the season than a lot of people that I saw. I did not expect this. So, like, the fact that I'm seeing this happening and I'm actually watching every game, I have a really tough time thinking he will not be top 5. Like, I have a really tough time thinking that at all. And I have a tough time thinking the guy's not going to be top 3. Like, Matthew Stafford loves him. And and that's the crazy thing is, like, Higbee's not doing insane. Robert Woods isn't performing at all. So if Higbee is able to get in the game, he did 2 out of 3 games he's done kind of well. But if Woods starts showing up again, then he's going to get covered and it comes back to being open. Like, McVay is just doing such a good job of moving this offense and getting the play calls and using Van Jefferson. I don't know. I agree. He's got the most touchdowns. He has the second most targets. He has the most yards. Like, he's got the most catch. Like, he's Stephon Diggs last year, except Stephon Diggs doesn't have the touchdowns that Cooper Kupp's going to have, because Diggs led in targets, catches, and yards. I don't know. It's going to be real interesting. Okay.
I agree. I love Cooper. I love Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he was my guy.
He was my guy last year.
I told you. I wish
he was your guy. He was your guy, but guess who drafted him? This guy.
That last question, another guy that I tried getting rid of for the last couple of years. I'm really happy that nobody bought him in Dynasty. Mike Williams, 5th-year breakout. Is it true now we need 5th-year breakouts for wide receivers? So is he for real, guys? Like, Mike Williams right now, wide receiver 2. He's got 4 touchdowns. He's got 1 touchdown each game. Herbert's looking good.
I think it's
more targets than Keenan Allen.
I mean,
2 less targets. Sorry,
he's not going to be getting 2 touchdowns every single game, but Justin Herbert's the real deal. I mean, Keenan Allen's on the other side, which is going to be drawing away coverage from him. He's always had the talent. He's always shown the flashes. He just always had those injuries that really kept him off the field. If he can stay healthy, stay on the field, Justin Herbert, keeps up what he's doing. You saw what they just did against the Chiefs. So, I mean, I think this is it. This is it. Like I said, he stays healthy. This is his breakout year. This is it.
Yeah. The start of this season has kind of taught me a lesson that we got to be more patient with some of these players, especially at the wide receiver position. Look what Christian Kirk is doing this year. I traded him in a few leagues, just like a toss-in, just to get, whatever I was trading for. And now I'm kind of kicking myself because some of these players are slowly starting to actually produce. You have Hollywood Brown in Baltimore. What is he in his 3rd year now, guys? Christian Kirk, third or 4th year, and Mike Williams, 5th year. I mean, I don't know if he can sustain being wide receiver 2. Is that what you said he is, Anthony?
He's wide receiver 2 right now. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think he can sustain that. But I could see him ending up being in the top 20 for sure.
He might want to be in the biggest steal of the draft, man. He's going to be up there. Him, Stafford's going to be up there. All right, so I just had to get those questions out of the way because they've been getting me for a little bit. Because like I said, I'm excited to move Mike Williams. I still don't know if I should believe in Mike Williams, but it's tough not to believe in Justin Herbert.
I think if you have him in a dynasty league, you can shop him and I would shop him just because, like I always say, if this is the highest value that player can get you, so you can get a better player, then you should definitely try to shop him and see what you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone wants to give you a first round pick,
I want to say one last.
If someone wants to give you a first round pick for Mike Williams, are you saying no?
Oh, I'm definitely selling him for that. Yeah. Well, see, like I just said that to you though. Like I just said that, and I'm not sure because
you would do it. You would do it.
I mean, yes and no, but at the same point, if Mike Williams is going to become that X wide receiver that they were talking about, and the X wide receiver is going to be 1,000+ yards, 10+ touchdowns with Justin Herbert for the next 5 years, I might not get a first round pick for that. That's why I mean, right now in a vacuum, yes, I would. Today, I would.
Yeah, right now you would.
I wouldn't be surprised if 3 weeks from now I'm regretting that.
Yeah. I mean, you could regret any trade 3 weeks from now.
The big reason why people they don't think that you can have 5th-year breakouts is because they see that, over the past, almost decade now, since 2014, OBJ, Mike Evans, you've had Juju, Michael Thomas, all those guys, they've produced right out of the gate. Now Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, like you said, all of them, they've produced right out of the gate. But before that, like it really was, wide receivers used to take a good 3 years to develop. Yeah. 3 to 4 years. Just look at Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. Both of them took about 3 years to really turn into what they're becoming. And yeah, some guys, they just need time. Not everybody's going to be an elite all-out wide receiver, but
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of acquiring players, why don't we talk about our buys and sells? So let's get into that segment here. Keenan, why don't you get us started with what do we do? I believe 2 buys and 2 sells each.
Yeah, I'll get us started out. I'll start off with your boy Kyle Pitts. I think this is the time to buy right now. That whole Atlanta offense is underperformed. Kyle Pitts was a no-show this past week. I mean, Lee Smith was the tight end that got the touchdown for him. I think eventually this offense will figure it out. I know, Antonio, you've been trying to convince me that they're going to figure it out, and the new offensive coordinator there is going to eventually use his players to their strengths. But yeah, I think Kyle Pitts is a very talented player, obviously. So why not try to buy him at a cheap rate right now? If you could trade like Myles Gaskin, like I did a couple weeks back, would you do it for Kyle Pitts? Right this second?
100%.
Yeah. My next one is OBJ, guys. I didn't think that OBJ was going to be used this much. I believe he had a target share of 25%, and he was on almost 100. I think he was like 40 out of 50 plays. I forgot what the stat was this past week. And with Landry out and still on the IR, he's guaranteed wide receiver 1 on that team. I think OBJ is still a talented player, and I think if you can trade Myles Gaskin for OBJ, I think you would do that, because I think you're getting a more talented player. I hate that I keep using Myles Gaskin in these examples, but that's who I traded for to get these players. And because I was a Myles Gaskin fan last year. But yeah, those are my 2 buys. Let me do my sells.
I think we'll have Eric work on his buys. Why don't you tell us about your buys, Eric?
Yeah, it's 2 guys that were already somewhat mentioned earlier. My first one is CeeDee Lamb. He had kind of a down week last week, but I just you're not really going to get him cheap, but I kind of want to capitalize on last week. Dalton Schultz isn't going to get almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns a game. Those are going to shift back to CeeDee. And he's already, he's showing that connection that he's had with Dak Prescott through the first few games. So, try and get him, see what you can do. Try and flip, like, I don't know. I'd trade like Terry McLaurin for CeeDee, see if you can do that straight up or something like that. try and work something out. But my second guy, on the other side of Mike Williams, is Keenan Allen. This guy I think is going to be a league winner. He's had 33 targets through the first 3 weeks. That's just something you can't pass up. If you can, and on top of that, the good reason why he's my buy is because a lot of people don't want Keenan Allen. For every year in and year out, he's always a top 10 guy, a lot of the times top 5 guy, and he's just nobody wants him. He's going to get the targets. If Mike Williams has his breakout year, that's only going to help him. Justin Herbert again continuing his greatness. So do what you can to get these guys on your team, and they're going to help you win some championships.
Yeah, man. I like those two buys, those two prolific wide receivers. Obviously, Keenan. I'm liking Kyle Pitts. I got Calvin Ridley. I know we both kind of stuck with the Falcons here, but look, man, I rewatched that game. I'm just gonna echo kind of what you said. Matt Ryan he's just dumping the ball down. He's not going down the field. They're not challenging safeties at all. They're not even challenging the DBs on the outside. Like, I don't even know honestly what they're doing right now. The only thing that I can come down to is last season we talked about Matt Ryan and how high we were on the Falcons, and he's got a leap year. Every other year Matt Ryan usually performs well. Now, last year he didn't really live up to that expectation, but every other year he either had a top 3 finish or a lower than 8th finish, especially when he had a new offensive coordinator, because he had a new offensive coordinator every 2 years. Arthur Smith is struggling right now to figure it out. I think that's really what it is they're all just struggling. I hope they get it together sooner than later, but Calvin Ridley is not getting used properly. He only has 29 targets. I say only that's a lot of targets. I mean, he's on pace for almost 170 targets. So we can't complain about that, but his yards per reception is very, very low. He's only got 8.8 yards per catch right now. He's a career 13.5. So that's got to correct itself. He's only got 1 touchdown. Get Calvin Ridley, guys. He's too talented for it not to fix itself. And speaking of another talented wide receiver, he's a rookie, Jalen Waddle. And this guy just got targeted 12 times last week. He has 26 targets total. He has 22 catches on that. So again, not somebody that's averaging too high yards per reception, but that's going to fix itself. He's a deep play threat. He's a yards after catch player. He's someone that Brissett was leaning on. He's someone that Tua was leaning on. So when Tua comes back, he's going to figure it out. We're seeing the rumors about the Dolphins possibly trading for Watson. I'm not going to bring that up really right now, but the only reason I am is because it's improvement on the quarterback. But Brissett's performing well. They're playing against the Colts this week, his ex-team, so I think he's going to want to show up. I think Jalen Waddle is a nice buy.
I like Jalen Waddle a lot. I really do.
Yeah, he looks good, man. And just even when he's catching the ball, he just makes it look so smooth and natural. I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. So Jalen Waddle and Calvin Ridley. Keenan had Kyle Pitts and OBJ, and Eric had CeeDee Lamb and Keenan Allen. So I'm going to start us off. Actually, Keenan, start us off with yourselves.
Sure. First one is Melvin Gordon. Guys, yeah, he's having a great start to the year. He's obviously playing better than Javonte Williams, and they're pretty much at a 50-50 split right now between carries and touches. But there's no way he's going to remain in the top 15 running back, where I don't think he's getting enough touches, because he is in a 50-50 split right now where to remain in the top 15. He's only got 42 carries and 7 targets so far this year. And nearly 30% of his fantasy points came on 1 carry, that 70-yard touchdown run in week 1. So obviously Williams is future in that backfield, and with Melvin Gordon aging, and he's 1 injury away from giving up that backfield completely to Williams, I think this is the time to sell. My other one is Zach Moss. He's had a couple great games here. Miami scored a touchdown. I believe he scored a rushing and a passing touchdown this past week also. But I don't see him continuing his success in that Buffalo Bills offense. Couple reasons. This is almost whoever has a hot hand is gonna be the lead back that game. So I could see Singletary leading the backfield one game and Zach Moss leading the next, or Josh Allen getting most of the carries because he's one of the better running quarterbacks in the league. But the other reason is it's a heavy pass offense, and they don't really involve their running backs in the pass game. And when Josh Allen is clicking, they're not going to run the ball. So sell Zach Moss.
Oh, Anthony, you must be on mute there. But I'm going to go with my sells.
Good call.
You good? Yeah, here, I'll go with my sells. My first one is Chase Claypool. 15 targets. Like I just said with my buys, capitalize on that. We saw it last year. People are they're gonna jump on what he showed last year, that one game where he had like 4 touchdowns. They're gonna jump on this 15 targets, and you'll be able to flip them for someone. Maybe Chase Claypool plus a piece for like Terry McLaurin, like I just said before. Somebody like that, and just capitalize on that, because this is not going to happen every week. We saw it last year, kind of flip-flops between, whether it's Juju or Claypool. I know Juju got hurt. I don't think he's going to miss any significant time at all, though. So Najee had a great game, too. And I think they're going to continue to use him. So just capitalize it. Try see if you can get a better guy and go from there. And then James Robinson. Him as well. Try and just upgrade to another running back. If Josh Jacobs is going to be healthy, I'd flip Robinson for Jacobs. Or just try and do something like that. Like I said, we saw in the first 2 games, Robinson isn't going to be a huge piece in this offense. At least I don't think so. So just try and flip him for a better piece and see what you can get.
Who is that? James Robinson, you said?
Yep.
You don't think he's going to be a big piece?
No, I mean, in the first 2 weeks, he wasn't really like a huge piece to the offense. And if they want to get Trevor Lawrence going, they got to get DJ Shark and your boy LaVisca going. So, and they just traded for Dan Arnold, so I think they want to pass more. And I know Robinson had some work in the passing game, but I think they traded, CJ Henderson for Dan Arnold for a reason. I think they like him. I think Arnold has shown a lot of flashes in the past couple of years. And he's right around that age for a tight end breakout. So I like him.
That's fair. Okay. I was just wondering. That's fair. All right, man. So my 2 sells. First one is Adam Thielen, forever hater. That is me. Take advantage of Adam Thielen. So he had 30 points, 15 points, 17 points for these first 3 weeks. I have a feeling, and I wouldn't be surprised if week 1 winds up being his best game of the year. He had 9 catches, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I've had an issue with Adam Thielen forever because the guy doesn't get touchdowns outside the 15-yard line. Is that an issue? Absolutely not. It's not an issue. But when Kirk Cousins is your quarterback and you have Justin Jefferson on the other side, sometimes to me that isn't it. And you have Dalvin Cook, behind you. Sometimes it is to me an issue. But, he keeps getting those short yardage touchdowns. He has 4 so far. He's tied for second in the league. I don't know. I feel like you can definitely swap him out for someone like DJ Moore. You can maybe capitalize on Tyreek Hill. So I don't, get Marquise Brown plus, get some Chris Godwin. I don't know. I feel like you could definitely get somebody and capitalize on Adam Thielen. With that being said, I also think that a sell would be Kareem Hunt. Hunt is taking up Nick Chubb right now. He just had 27 points. He had 17 points the first week. He's not going to keep it up, guys. No, he's RB7.
He was one of my stresses this past week. And when I looked at the box score, I was like, "Ooh, that's not a good look, Keenan."
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about my week 3. Week 3 was just rough all around, man. It was odd. But get rid of Kareem Hunt just because he's great. He's the best handcuff to have, but that's still what he is as a handcuff. Even though Cleveland likes to run the ball, he is being productive in the receiving game, but it's 2 or 3 catches a game. Now, while that's good, yeah, it's not something for me that I want as my, RB2, for example. And he can't keep giving you 15 plus points every single week. Nick Chubb's great. So that would be our sells. So I just had Kareem Hunt and Adam Thielen. Keenan, you had Zach Moss and Melvin Gordon, and Eric had Chase Claypool and James Robinson. All right, guys. So make sure you're following us on Twitter at Dynasty Mafia _FF. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Antonio Denisi FF. Make sure you're following Keenan at Keenan _716 and Eric at Big E _FF. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Give us some likes. Make sure to hit the bell so you can get notified every time we are online. Come check us out. All right, guys. So let's talk about some of the games coming up here into week 4. I know we wanted to talk about some headliners. We got Thursday night game coming on tonight. If you're listening, probably was yesterday if you didn't catch up with us till Friday. So we talked a little bit about it earlier. It's the former first-round picks, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, battling each other. You got Jamar Chase defying everybody with his 4 touchdowns so far, in 3 games on his only 11 catches. So he gets to face a really tough defense that just got rid of C.J. Henderson. Like we said, Trevor Lawrence is doing bad. Keenan, what do you think is going to happen with this game? Who do you think is going to win, and who do you think your favorite player of the game is going to be?
Oh, who's going to win? I'll go with the Bengals. The Jags, I don't know. Their coaching situation's a mess. They just can't put everything together. Even with a 107 yard
109
with a kick return or whatever, missed kick return or what. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. That's how bad the Jags are. But even with that big play, they still ended up finding a way to lose. I'll go with the Bengals, and I think Joe Mixon has a great game. He had a great week 1, kind of disappeared the last couple weeks, but I think he bounces back here, gets a touchdown, and gets 5 receptions, 50 yards, and 100-yard rushing. That's it. The Jags aren't good.
That's it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I like Joe Mixon. I think that's a good one. All right. I think that's going to be an interesting game. Hopefully, by the time you listen to it, Keenan got it all called right. But start your Jamar Chases. That's for sure. Start your James Robinson, Eric, or no?
Yeah.
No, they're going to be playing from behind.
Yeah.
All right. No James Robinson.
Start LaVisca.
Start Visca. What about okay. All right. So Carolina and Dallas. That's going to be a hell of a game. Darnold's bouncing back. He's been performing well. He's got back-to-back 300-yard games for the first time in his career. We're going to see Chuba Hubbard play. We got Dallas coming up. They're deciding if they want to pass. They're deciding if they want to run. Eric, how's this game going to play out, and who's the top player you think you're going to be watching for in this game?
I mean, I just talked about my boy CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Is CJ Henderson going to be playing? I mean, he just got traded. Right? It's not like.
Oh, he'll be playing. He passed the physical. Yeah, he'll be. I mean, they're probably honestly. I'm thinking they're just going to stick him either on Cooper. Probably going to be Cooper, to be honest, and just let him shadow. I don't think he'll learn enough yet that he couldn't do otherwise. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
True. Yeah, but I mean, we saw Carolina. They can drive the ball downfield, put up some points, whether it's passing or rushing. Sam Darnold, 2 rushing touchdowns. But Dallas is going to put up a ton of points like they usually do. But I like CeeDee Lamb as always. Zeke, he showed some goodness there. But what really stinks about Zeke is, everyone is probably going to look at last weekend as a good thing for Zeke, but Pollard still had double-digit touches for 60 yards. I mean, that turned Zeke 90 yards into 150.
He did, but when it came to who needed to score and when they needed the yards, they put Zeke in. I don't know. I really feel like that was truly a look, Zeke, like feed Zeke. It was just, I'm asking, I'm hungry, feed me. I don't know.
Yeah,
that could have been.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Pollard going forward, or?
I'm still not worried about Pollard. I still think you should trade him if you don't have Zeke. What about DJ Moore, though? Do you think he's going to perform well? 7th right now in yards in the league. Just put up 126 and what was it, like 120 yards just in a half, and only had like 1 catch for the rest of the game.
Well, that's our buddy Savion's fault. Remember, he's like, Savion's going to have Savion texted us. He's like, on this rate, DJ Moore's going to have 100 catches today. He's wide open every time. After that text, 1 catch.
I blame you, Savvy. I blame you to hell. All right. Okay. I think that's, again, same thing. Probably start every player you got there. Start your Chuba, what about Robbie Anderson? Are you dropping Robbie Anderson? He really hasn't performed well at all. Darnold.
Yeah. It's weird.
The Darnold
right?
connection from the Jets. It's not there. Anderson had 14 points in the first week with that touchdown, the long touchdown. But since then, he's had 8 targets and only 4 catches.
Yeah, I think you hold on to him just because of Moore's big game last week. I feel like defense are going to slowly start shifting to that side of the field. So let's see how he does the next couple of weeks before you make that call. I wouldn't want you to drop him and then have him have a 10 reception game.
I think it's a huge win for DJ Moore, just knowing that Darnold had that connection with Robbie Anderson and going to a new team and still knowing that he's sticking with DJ Moore. That's great news for the future.
Yeah, 31 targets so far. He's on pace for the most career targets and the best quarterback throwing it to him. So DJ Moore is killing it. The Giants at New Orleans. So New Orleans has been besides week 2, really handily, their defense has been handling some opponents pretty nicely. Jameis Winston's has a good touchdown percentage for the season. But do you think Daniel Jones is going to be able to get it going again? Do you think Saquon Barkley is ready to have that breakout week everybody's waiting for? He scored a touchdown last week. He's starting to get the touches. He did. Do you think it's finally time for Barkley to have over 100+ yards and a touchdown, or is this still not the week, Keenan?
Yes. You should have bought Barkley last week. Got an easy schedule coming up, and I still think Barkley is one of the best running backs in the game. That offensive line kind of a little not as bad as I thought it was going to be, I guess, because last year they were pretty rough before we got hurt. So yeah, I think. Yeah, this is his game. This is the game. If last week wasn't the game, this is the game where he breaks out.
Are you playing Kenny Golladay?
No, I'm not. And I'm I don't know what happened with Kenny Golladay. I loved him in Detroit. I don't know if it was because he has Stafford on it, throwing the ball, but is he gonna show up? Because I was pretty high on him in redraft leagues, and I was happy to get him in the 7th round, 8th round to be my wide receiver 2. But he's definitely not my wide receiver 2 anymore in any of my leagues.
Yeah, he's been very disappointing. I also had high hopes for him. For some reason, I lost any conviction in August on him, so I didn't get him in any leagues. But
if you're considering dropping Robbie Anderson, you should be considered dropping Golladay almost.
Yeah,
that's how bad it's been.
That's true.
And now that the report that they want to get their first round wide receiver, what's his face,
Kadarius
Toney, involved. I don't know if that's good for Golladay, but I mean, there was that Thursday night game where Golladay was yelling at Danny at his quarterback, Danny Dimes, and it just feels like something's off with that team.
Yeah. Are you starting Winston? Is he a start for you? Is he a top 12 play?
Winston, Jameis, famous. Jameis. How about that interview a couple weeks ago? Did you catch that?
No, what don't you tell me?
He it was something about his I forget who it was, like maybe like a friend, and he told him what to do. I don't know. You got to watch it, but he's hilarious. He's every time he's in front of a camera, I'm listening to him because he says the silliest things. But
did you hear Jalen Hurts after their game on Monday?
No, what did he say?
He said,
I went to bed because the Eagles are dumb and they made me go to bed at like 10 o'clock. But what did he say?
Yeah. Dude, Hurts had 24 points still, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's
with
threw
how
the ball.
crappy he did.
How many times did he throw the ball?
Well, the whole team. Yeah, well, I know, and he probably had a lot of net yards. I don't even want to look at that passing yards. But no, he said so. Well, I'm trying to think. He said so when you take a number 2. You don't just stand there and stare at it. You flush it down and you move on.
I did hear that. I didn't know if that was from this past week or what. But yeah, I did hear that.
I have to. I was cracking up. I was cracking up when I saw that.
I already, not to jump from New Orleans, but the Eagles do a great job of not giving their best players the ball. A great job.
We could talk about them in Kansas City. Yeah, man. Miles Sanders, 2 carries.
Not just Miles Sanders. They have Smith. They don't even try to get him in the offense. Like at least be a little bit of creative. Like the Bills use Isaiah freaking McKenzie. They have him doing in the backfield. They have him motioning. It's just there's no creativity at all.
You know what's frustrating? Trayvon Diggs, the cornerback for Dallas, he played at Alabama. Devonta Smith played at Alabama. Jalen Hurts was at Alabama. Like, I just feel like for some reason Jalen Hurts looked like he was nervous. He just wasn't playing like he has. He looked like, I mean, he's only his 7th game, so he looks like a rookie. He still is technically a rookie, but like that pick 6 was horrible.
That was bad.
Like he knows your tendencies, and you literally just snapped it and threw it. I mean, I know Devonta Smith fell, but I feel like that was still a pick.
I feel like I don't know if it gets picked off if he doesn't fall.
Maybe, but Trayvon Diggs is good, man. I think they got a good player.
Yeah.
So Kansas City and Philly.
Back to New Orleans on Winston.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Who are they playing? The Giants. I mean, the Giants. Come on. Top 15. You said quarterback.
Top 12.
Oh, QB1. Probably not. Probably not. Not for me.
Yeah. So far he had the 5 touchdowns in week 1.
Yeah.
And then he
laid a goose egg against Atlanta.
Yeah, laid a goose egg. Then he had 2 touchdowns with just 120 yards. Yeah. So in total, he still has under 400 passing yards in 3 games.
Yeah.
They haven't needed to do much, but they're 2-1. Yeah. So Kansas City and Philly. So for Kansas City, it sounds like start all your Kansas Cities. Philly just looked horrible. They really need to make a big rebound. I'm not sure if they will, but I would still play all your Eagles as well. So, Eric, why don't you talk to us about the Arizona and Rams game? Arizona at the Rams, a really exciting week. The Rams just took down Tampa Bay. What do you think is going to happen? Who's someone you're looking out for?
Gotta go with the over on this one. I mean, it's like the other last game I talked about. Start everybody in this one. Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray. Start Stafford. He's going to have a great week. Maybe even Bobby Woods there. The only thing I don't know is the running backs in this game. I might be a little weary about them.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase Edmonds, he's been having some good weeks. He'll be a decent flex option, but he still hasn't done anything crazy.
I'm done with him.
At least not. Yeah,
I'm done. Like it's
making me sad.
Yeah, I'm just done. It's not even worth the flex anymore.
He had one chance at the 2-yard line, didn't get in, and then it was James Conner the rest of the game. Like, give him another shot. Like, I don't get it. He's so much better in the passing game, but if he's not getting any carries, it's.
You know what it is? What these coaches do? I feel like it's more if you're a good pass blocker, you're in the game now, more than.
It's helpful.
It really is, and that's what. What's the other running back's name? Why can't I? You just said his name. Not for Arizona. Edmonds. Well, who's the backup there?
Well, technically Edmonds, but James Conner.
Yeah, Conner. Yeah, I feel like he's in there because they're going to throw the ball a lot, and they'll use him as an extra blocker, and so let's reward him for blocking. That's the way. So that's the way coaches think. They're dumb and they think that way.
And but that'd be fine if he was still going to get some of the goal line carries, or the opportunities at least. I mean, if he would he still doesn't have a touchdown yet. And I think Conner has 4 now. So I don't know. It's it's frustrating. He's a lot more talented.
The good thing, I guess, is he'll be a decent flex option just because the passing work, but. Yeah, it does say if they would just give him the workload. Like, oh man.
Well, I mean, that's
That'd be
the
crazy.
same thing can be said for Connor, though. Keep an eye on him. I mean, he's probably a buy too. If Edmonds keeps not producing, Connor's eventually probably going to get more of the work. So who wins that game, Eric?
Oh, that's a good one. Is that that better be like a Sunday night game?
It's not. It's 405, but the Rams are -4 right now.
Classic.
The Rams are -4. I mean, just straight up, I think the Rams are going to win it. They're just on fire. I mean, both teams are on fire, but I don't know. Like I said, go with the over on this one. It's going to be a fun one to watch, but I think the Rams pull it out.
I agree. I'm really excited for that game, but I can't see the Rams doing what they just did against Tampa Bay to not be able to beat Arizona. I know Brady's not mobile like Kyler, but that's just going to be tough. Couple more games left, guys. Keenan, Seattle, and San Francisco. This is a big NFC West matchup. Seattle might go 1-3. Yeah, Seattle needs to win. Is it going to happen? Who's going to be the best player for Seattle? Is it going to be Metcalf or Lockett?
I don't think San Francisco has been that great. Did they almost lose to the Lions a couple weeks ago?
They did.
No,
the Ravens.
You sure it wasn't Lions too? That they had
could have been. Yeah, keep it going. I'll
but and then last week they fell behind to the Packers and they came back, but I don't think they've looked that great. And I mean Seattle, they've blown in both their losses. They've blown double-digit leads. One to the Titans and whoever they played last week. I totally forgot. But I'm gonna go with Seattle. I think they desperately need to get back on a winning track here, and I know it's in San Francisco, but I'm gonna go with Seattle. And I think a player to watch here, guys, is Brandon Ayuk. Finally came out. He decided to play some football this past week. Got a touchdown at 5 catches. But watch him, and if you get him, that's another buy low candidate. Have him. I think he's the most talented wide receiver on that team, and I think eventually Shanahan. Hopefully it's not an injury that's keeping him out of the game. But I think Shanahan eventually gets him more involved in the passing game there.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I agree it's going to be a shootout. That's tough. That's tough for me though. Like George Kittle, it was really nice to see him get some yards. He needs to start getting some touchdowns.
They used him in the passing game instead of a blocker.
Instead of a straight blocker, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to see him get involved.
Oh yeah, they beat the Lions week 1, 41-33.
I was just looking at that. They
blew them out. They blew them out. Yeah. 2 garbage time touchdowns. I remember that game now. Yeah, okay.
But still, you're right though. 33 points. It is what it is.
You guys see the comment here?
Blowout.
Oh, Russ has beat the 49ers.
Russ has beat the 49ers 15 times in the last 19. There we go.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
Look at that from Joe. That's good to know. Well, I guess especially with an NFC West showdown, they always tend to get a lot of points in there, and Russ is going to cook. Pete Carroll said it himself. All right, so let's get into speaking of blowouts. Tampa Bay at New England. Tom Brady coming home.
It's one of my teasers.
I think that's going to be a blowout.
It's one of my teasers.
I think he's pissed.
Yeah, he's mad.
I think 5 touchdowns is on the line again. He's going to break the passing touchdown record.
I was just about to ask you, do they stop the game?
I think they'll stop the game and he'll get the ball. He'll give it to someone. They'll all do a round of applause. I think that's what happened with Breeze. If I remember.
Yeah, but Breeze was at home. He was in New Orleans.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This is in New England.
True.
If I'm Bill, I'm saying nope, don't stop the game. Keep going.
They've known for 6 months now that he was going to try to break this record at that time. So hopefully they're all respectful.
Like
he did a lot for them.
It's like he plans this crap.
The NFL totally planned it.
No, he plans this, not the NFL. He plans this. In his head, last year, he already did the math. He's like, I need this many yards each game so I could break it in New England. Just
100%.
He's crazy. Now he wants to play till 50? Doesn't he want to Does he
We
want to go
talked
hang
about
out with
that
his
last
wife?
week. It's-
And
Telling you
his
he's a
kids?
robot.
I'm pretty sure he injects adamantium or takes some type of adamantium pills. So
He's gotta have some kind of robotic technology in his arm. I mean, come on.
I just love watching him throw. I don't know what it is. It's weird, but
Hey,
I do.
Every year in December and January, I'm like, oh, this is his last year. He can't throw it 20 yards. September, October comes back. That ball is on a line every goddamn time. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this guy still good?
We're gonna
I thought-
find out there's like some secret enhancer that nobody even knows about yet.
Yeah.
Performance enhancer that Tom Brady knows about.
Hey, can he just give it to Allen, please? But what about this story that Brady wanted to have a one-on-one with Belichick after he signed with Tampa, and Bill said, "Just call me." Bill said, "I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's
He's a
there's
sore
something with
loser.
like business is business, but like
I know. Come on,
I
you
don't know.
you won 6 Super Bowls. You had all this success for two decades. Like you would think, like you would be closer with the the player that is the main reason why you won 6 Super Bowls.
yeah, he's a little full of himself maybe right there. All right, so let's end it up with the Monday night game. I know I might be echoing a little bit. I apologize for that. But we got our last game Monday night, Vegas. I was apologizing to you, Keenan.
No, you're fine. Like I don't hear an echo.
Oh, all right. Well, I still don't apologize to you. Vegas and the Chargers, Monday Night Football. You got your league passing leader, Derek Carr, just over 1,200 yards, averaging over 400 yards a game. I don't know what the hell is going on, but Derek Carr is doing it, guys. The Raiders are 3-0.
It's over. It's over this week.
Yeah, the car's blowing up.
It's
in a
done.
bad way.
It's done.
It's going to be done against the Chargers, huh?
Yeah, they're done. They're not going to win this game. Whose turn was it?
all right,
Eric, Eric, your turn to talk about fantasy, but they're not.
Who's winning this game, Eric? Who's the big player?
Vegas,
you're watching?
Vegas is not winning.
Keenan's a hater. I got someone I'm interested to see.
What's the line?
I believe it is 4, 3.5 or 4 when I saw last. Yeah.
For who? The Chargers?
Chargers, yeah.
Minus.
I don't know. The Raiders are so hard to kind of gauge right
Almost
now.
lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah,
But they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah, minus 3 right now.
I think Keenan's right. I think it comes back to reality. I think the Chargers win this one. Keenan Allen's gonna have a great game. I think he's probably gonna be the top performer fantasy wise in this game. And I think Mike Williams is gonna have a good game too. I mean, not 2 touchdown type of game, but I think he's gonna catch a few long balls, potentially get in the end zone. But yeah, I mean the Raiders don't look terrible. They don't look as bad as everyone thought. I think it could be, Henry Ruggs is stepping up. Obviously, what was that?
That's what I'm watching out for.
No,
That's
okay.
who Henry Ruggs, man.
If they could get a W here, they might not lose. They might not lose for another month. They play the Bears, then they play the Broncos, which are the most overrated 3-0 team ever. And then they play the Eagles, which is a toss-up. Then they play the Giants, and then they finally play the Chiefs. So man.
Gus Bradley's doing some good stuff with that defense. I mean, and as much as we want to hate, Coach Chucky, John Gruden, like the guy knows how to call plays. They are doing it with second-year wide receivers, a 29-year-old breakout tight end. They don't even have Peyton Barber got 113 yards and a touchdown. I mean, come on. Like I said, Kenyon Drake's a straight backup. The Raiders are doing good things. Derek Carr is doing good things. He's a quarterback 1 moving forward. Like, I know he doesn't generally get the 3+ touchdowns every week that you're hoping for from your quarterback that you're starting, but so far he's getting you 300+ and 2 touchdowns. So that's a 20-point week, and you're taking that from a quarterback, regardless. So you need to get Derek Carr on your team. I'm still seeing him on a bit of waiver wires. I can't stomach starting him, but you have to start him. Start him over Tannehill. Start him over Burrow. I'd start him over Ryan. Start him over blanking real quick. Start him over Roethlisberger. I would start him over Lamar this week against the Broncos. It's a close one. That's a toss-up. But I don't know. I think he's going to throw all over. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 400 yards.
Down over there.
I've been having this tough time all week of like trying to debate how I really feel about the Raiders, because I thought Waller last season was a little bit overhyped. So far I've been a little bit right, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like David Carr right now.
Okay, let's settle down.
All right. All right. Let's that's talked about all of the games so far that we really wanted to hit on. There's one last thing we wanted to talk about that I wanted to catch up for last week. So just a rebound player. So I wanted to close the show out with a rebound player. Someone you think that maybe didn't have the best week 3 that's going to come back for week 4 and be able to show up for us moving on. So Eric, why don't you round up part of the show with your rebound player?
Yeah, it's Jonathan Taylor. Obviously starting off the year a little bit disappointing. A few of the other guys on the team getting some work that we were hoping wasn't going to happen, but they're 0-3. They got to get him going. They need to get this offense going, and I think it's going to turn around. We're going to see what we saw towards the end of the year with Jonathan Taylor, because he's got the talent. He's way more talented than Marlon Mack or Nyheim Hines. Yeah, I don't know. It's the Dolphins who Tua's not back, right?
No.
So
No,
I mean,
won't be back for
they need
Jacoby
to win
Brissett revenge game.
Yeah, but they need to win this game. Keep the ball out of Miami's hands. Not necessarily, not like it matters, but do whatever you can to get him going. But I think he gets it done. I think he's getting over 100 and he's getting in the end zone.
Cool. Keenan, how about your rebound player?
Yeah, it's my boy Tyreek Hill. Let me be clear. I'm not worried about Tyreek Hill. I think it's going to take a lot more than just the last 2 games to have me worried about him. I know he had I think he had 12 points this past week, and 2 weeks ago he had a 14-yard performance versus the Ravens. He'll be fine. I think they're going to have to get him involved for that team to get back on track. So yeah, I think he rebounds this week, and I think he has a great game. Simple as that.
Simple.
Yeah.
I've got another wide receiver. Terry McLaurin had a rough outing last week against the Bills, but I don't know how much we really did expect against that vaunted defense playing against Trey White for the most part too, but he's had at least 4 catches and 62 yards in each game. It's just not what you're expecting from someone that you spent a 3rd round pick on. So I think he rebounds this week for sure. He's playing against Atlanta, so they're gonna possibly be in a shootout. If it's not a shootout, Atlanta doesn't have the best defense. So Heineke's shown that he loves him. So I think he's gonna continue to get the targets, and I think production's coming through. So Scary Terry.
I love it.
With that being said, that's going to wrap up the show. We're going to get our stresses and impresses posted for you guys on Sunday. Decided to be easier to post those that route instead of going over them on the show, so we could fit a bit more of information in and not bore you for 3 hours. So with that being said, make sure you're following us again on Twitter at Antonio Denisi FF. Make sure you're following Keenan at Keenan_716. You're following Eric at Biggie_FF and the podcast at Dynasty Mafia_FF. Make sure you're checking out the website at dynastymafiapodcast.network and check us out on YouTube, Dynasty Mafia, youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia Podcast. Thanks again for listening. Great show, everybody. A lot of information. Best of luck for you on week 4 already. I can't believe we're already almost a quarter through the season, guys.
Month in.
That's crazy. Month in. Getting ready. Tweet us any questions, any start sit advice. Don't talk to Eric. He's not going to give you anything. Don't worry. We're just going to flush Eric down that toilet and let that worry about for next time. So thanks again for listening, guys.
Wow.
And as always, Mafia.